You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
In Paris, not the entire country of France. 1:45. James McOnie's in Paris. What are you doing in Paris?
Yeah, a lot of people are asking that question, Piney. What the hell am I doing over here? I am here covering the Olympics for The Crowd Goes Wild and Sky. So on any given day, I could be doing something for Crowd Goes Wild, and then, you know, might be turn around and do a live cross for Sky and interviews at the end. You know, sometimes happy ones, sometimes there'll be tears, but you're there to capture the emotion. And then in between times, just trying to actually sort of catch a couple of sports that you wouldn't normally see. So I'm going off the beaten track, hopefully to see a bit of skateboarding and breakdancing.
Oh, looking forward to hearing your reports and your analysis of that. Being in Paris while the Olympics are on or have just started, what is it like there? Can you give us an idea of the feel of the city?
I can tell Paris is, let's just say, cautiously or slowly buzzing. It really came to life tonight when you saw Antoine Dupont leading the French sevens team to the gold medal victory over Fiji in the final. And I was in a restaurant where, you know, all the French were going completely nuts, loving that moment, and it was really special, I guess, for Dupont because, you know, he got injured. He had to wear the mask in the Rugby World Cup, and he came along to the sevens team, and, you know, he doesn't always start games, but I tell you what, he finishes them, and he was impressive. So I'd say the mood on the street is pride, and they're also buzzing about the opening ceremony. Did you see it, Piney? Your thoughts?
Yes, I saw bits of it, and I was very keen to get your thoughts because, you know, I kind of tend to look at these things through a traditional eye, whereas you seem to, you know, think outside the square a little bit, look at things from a different angle and in a different way. What did you think of it?
Overall, I think it worked, right? So I think, you know, the opening ceremony is about showcasing a nation and its history, and really France sort of nailed the brief. You know, there are a couple of moments that you could probably give or, you know, take or leave. And also, I think I always felt sorry for some of the dancers just going, you know, dancing their hearts out, and they get 0.5 seconds on camera. Yep. And then they just have some aerial shot of the river. You know, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, cut away from that person who's really giving it their all. But I thought the start was really special. And my French friends, I was talking to one of them, she said that her and her partner and her boyfriend were in tears. They were just so emotional about it because they really felt it represented France in the most positive way. And that was, I mean, I think if everyone out there hasn't seen it, the start was epic. A heavy metal band, basically all members of the band outside of a massive palace, out of different windows, while there's Marie Antoinette is carrying her own head, and the head is singing. Yes. And, like, you just can't get a more epic start to something than that. So I actually thought that was great, and I actually thought the end was great from when they had these acrobats playing, different acrobats, I understand, playing the one character who was masked and doing flips with the Olympic flame. And once that Olympic flame was handed to Zinedine Zidane, on to Rafael Nadal, and then the great French Olympic athletes and Paralympic athletes, I thought that was really special. It had the desired effect, which was emotion, really, and now they've got a pretty cool flame with a balloon attached.
That's right, and not every city in the world can say that. Just on, no. You mentioned the highs and the lows, the disappointment and the delight. Our men's sevens team obviously started even before the opening ceremony, and their chances of a medal were kind of extinguished before the flame was even lit. What about our Black Fern sevens, though, James? You'd be fairly confident they'll go back-to-back in the women's sevens. You'd be pretty confident about that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Black Fern Sevens are just a really great story in camaraderie and sisterhood, understanding each other and getting the best out of each other, and really supporting one another. And their excellence, they're amazing athletes, but I think they're a really great template for how a modern New Zealand team should be. And that's just part of it is driven, I think a lot of it's driven by the players. And I'm always so impressed. And you can see it on social media. They're very, very candid. I'm sure every time you've interviewed a Black Fern Seven, they're pretty much the best interview in sport overall, player for player. And so I think that positivity just shines on the field, and they'll have to dig deep to beat a team like Australia if that's the final, because they've sort of lifted their game in the past 6 months. But yeah, I really do like the Black Fern Sevens, and having someone like Stacey Walker come back as well. Like we're there along with, Portia Woodman, Michaela Blyde, and all the others, Tyler King.
Yep. No, I think they've look, for me, they're the ones. They're the ones who I think will get us started over the next couple of days, perhaps with a gold medal. We might even get some medal before that. Just before you go, do you reckon, if you went to the breakdancing and you did like a backspin or the worm, would that get you good points, do you think, in breakdancing?
You'd hope so. I'm sort of more of a pop and locker, like I sort of can get the electric pulse and sort of go through, my fingers. And I mean, I don't know with what they do about the robot now. Is that considered a bit passé? But,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of robots, though, Piney, the one thing the drone, the latest of the drone saga with Canada has been docked 6 points, I think it is.
Yep.
So they for flying 2 drones spying on the football ferns. But it doesn't really address, and this is what the statements come out from the NZOC, it doesn't address the fact that the football ferns lost that game, so it hasn't actually helped them at all in a positive way. It's really just killed off Canada's chances of qualifying, right? So I think that's one thing that should have been a walkover, or that result should have been overturned in favour of the football ferns. It's not really the ideal punishment there. Yeah,
you're meant to have a zero-sum solution here, aren't you? So if somebody loses points, somebody else should gain them. I guess what that also means, though, is that, if they've docked 6, then somebody else has to get 3. I don't know. But yeah, I think I tend to agree. There's been no advantage gained at all by New Zealand here. They've been the victims both off the field and on it, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a story that keeps on giving. I'm sure there's more to come on this. James, I've kept you awake long enough. You go and get some sleep in the Paris night. Enjoy the week ahead, mate. I can't wait to see what content you come up with, and we'll hopefully catch up again next Sunday.
Cheers, Piney. Sounds good, mate. I'm always available for you, and I'll get some sleep now, and bon nuit from me.
Bon nuit, indeed. Thanks, James. James McOnie in Paris.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.